Tonight on Y News. Magdalo Partylist Representative Gerry Alejano files supplemental impeachment complaint against President Rodrigo Duterte. The Senate Committee on Education looks into DepEd report about rape incidents involving students and minors. The Bureau of Fire Protection plans to conduct fire prevention training in poor communities across the country.
The Department of Energy or DOE eyes the use of Malampaya Fund to pay contract costs charged to consumers.
Y News begins now.
From the UNTV News and Rescue Command Center, this is Y News with Angelo Castro III and Darlene Basingan.
Good evening. The Morong 43 affirms that they want former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo charged in court. Monokson will tell us why.
The Justice for the Morong 43 Alliance rallied in front of the Sandigan Bayan earlier today. They want a fast resolution on the case of the Morong 43. Morong 43 refers to the 43 health workers arrested by the military in Morong, Rizal in 2010 for allegedly being members of the New People's Army.
Ang gusto natin mangyari, maparusahan yung mga gumawa nitong pagka-torture sa kanila. Yun ang gusto natin, di ba? And that will bring justice.
In 2015, the Ombudsman dropped the torture case against former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, General Delfin Bangit, General Victor Ibrado, and former National Defense Secretary Norberto Gonzales. Only 8 AFP officials and 2 policemen have been charged with violating the rights of the arrested health workers. Supporters say that Arroyo and other AFP officials must be held accountable for their involvement in the case. The appeal to include Arroyo and other AFP officials is currently pending in the Supreme Court.
So nakikita namin na hindi lamang yung mga sina General Segovia, Zaragoza o yung mga major at lieutenants ang responsible, kundi yung buong gobyerno ni Arroyo dahil sila yung nagplano, nag-devise nung Oplan Bantaylaya at dahil doon kaya nangyari itong illegal arrest, detention and torture ng Morong 43.
The accused AFP officials were supposed to be arraigned today, but the Sandigan Bayan deferred it to May 24 due to pending motions. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Sandigan Bayan.
The Government Peace Panel confirms that the 4th round of peace talks will definitely push through on April. Robbie de Guzman will tell us why.
Peace Panel Chairman and Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III confirmed that he and Presidential Peace Advisor Secretary Jesus Teresa talked with President Rodrigo Duterte regarding the peace process.
May mga guidelines ng peace. So yun ang aming talaga sa venue ng 4th round of the formal peace talk. Wala naman siyang kondisyon at ang kanyang instruction ang kumbaga sa guide sa amin.
Thus, the 4th round of peace talks between the Philippine government and the Communist Party of the Philippines or CPP will push through on April 2 and will end in April 6 in Noordwijk, the Netherlands. Secretary Bello says they will primarily tackle the bilateral ceasefire agreement, which is expected to be signed once the two parties come to an agreement. One of the controversial issues within the agreement is the collection of revolutionary taxes.
Yung issue ng collection of revolutionary taxes, medyo sensitibo yun at masalimuot, kaya maaaring yan doon kayo magtatagal ng diskusyon. Ang posisyon ng gobyerno dyan ay dapat hinto. Siyempre sa kanila naman sasabihin nila na pag hininto namin yan, paano pa namin pakakainin yung persa namin? Di hahanap kayo ng other sources. Kasi realidad naman yan na hindi mo naman pwedeng tutunin yung kanilang persa. Baka dyan papasok yung socio-economic reforms and programs.
In the 4th round of peace talks, the discussion of CASER, or the Comprehensive Agreement on Socio-Economic Reforms, is expected to be tackled. CASER includes the issue in genuine land reforms, social justice, national industrialization, and independence of foreign policy. Secretary Bello adds the Comprehensive Agreement on Political and Constitutional Reforms and the end of hostilities and the disposition of forces, which are the remaining substantive agenda for the final peace deal, will be tackled in the next round of the formal peace talks. Robbie de Guzman, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
A Senate committee is looking into the report of the Department of Education about rape incidents involving students and minors. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
The Department of Education yesterday confirmed 3 rape incidents in Malabon, Santa Maria, Bulacan, and Ajoy, Iloilo. The victims and perpetrators were all minors. Senator Chis Escudero says his committee will determine whether this is still a DepEd problem or already a security issue.
Inaalam at aalamin namin ang bagay na yan, kung gaano talaga kalaganap, kung sakasakali, at kung paano ito may iwasan dahil nagaganap at nangyayari madalas sa labas naman ng paaralan at hindi habang may klase.
This prompted questions on whether the incidents are enough reasons to lower the age of criminal liability to 9 years old.
Pabor ako na tingnan muli tingnan muli yung lumang batas na Child and Youth Welfare Code, i-juxtapose sa kasalukuyang batas para makita, tingnan ano ba yung pinakamagandang pamamaraan para hindi lamang mabigyan ng katarungan pero mabigyan din ng pagkakataon ma-rehabilitate ang sino mang nagkataon nagkamali sa murang edad.
Under the law, which was decreed by former President Ferdinand Marcos, the sentence against a youth offender is suspended. If the youth offender is rehabilitated and has behaved properly, the court will dismiss the case and expunge it from the records. Otherwise, he will be convicted and punished for the crime he committed once he is 21 years of age. A bill is now pending in Congress lowering the age of criminal liability from 15 to 9 years old. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
PNP Chief Ronald De La Rosa has ordered the PNP Internal Affairs Service to resolve the case of a police caught in a pot session in Las Piñas City today. Joyce Balancho will tell us why.
Philippine National Police Chief Ronald De La Rosa was furious when he faced detained Police Superintendent Lito Dumandan Cabamongan at the Las Piñas Police Station earlier. Cabamongan was arrested around 5:30 in the morning after being caught in a pot session inside a shanty house at Barangay Talon 4 in Las Piñas City.
Bakit yung minamasahe? Ha? Nagagalit? Huwag niyo saktan, ha? Huwag niyo saktan. Pero pag kayo sinasaktan, sinisipa, magsumbong kayo dito, ha? Para yung hippie na sisipa sa kanya.
A barangay officer says a concerned citizen gave him a call about the alleged pot session.
Sabi nila, shabu. Tapos yung mga sachet nandun sa table. So bali parang katatapos lang nila, yung nasa plastic parang residue na lang yun.
Neri Sabdao, who was arrested with Cabamongan, confirmed that the arrested police was doing drugs.
Opo, ako nag-iya sa kanya. Pero bumili po kami 200.
Cabamongan's wife denies that her husband is into drugs.
Ay, hindi ako naniniwala kasi hindi yan nagsasabi.
Cabamongan explained he was doing an undercover when the police arrested him.
Kasi nga kukuha nga ako ng ebidensya para mapatunayan ko na yung intelligence officer ng crime lab nagbibenta ng shabu. Kasi binabagsakan niya dyan eh. DCI, Joselito, Simbahan, Sabares, Intel Officer ng Crime Lab.
In a statement, PNP Crime Laboratory Chief Aurelio Trampe says Cabamongan might be acting in retaliation as Savare is an intel officer who is validating derogatory information against him. Trampe also denied giving orders to Cabamongan to conduct an undercover operation and said that the crime laboratory unit is not engaging in cases of illegal drugs. General De La Rosa also said Cabamongan's version of the story is not possible as he is in floating status after forcing his way in a movie house without a ticket.
Magdusa siya. Bakit siya gumawa ng ganun? Ha? Nagdusa nga yung iba, oh. Siya pa na pulis, dapat doble ang pagdudusa niya dahil pulis siya eh. Gumawa ng krimen.
De La Rosa instructed the Philippine National Police Internal Affairs Service to hasten its investigation so that proper charges can be filed and dismissal can be ordered against Cabamongan. Joyce Balancho, UNTV News and Rescue, Las Piñas City.
More than 300 personalities in the drug watch list of Imus Cavite attended Oplan Taphang. at the Camp General Pantaleon Garcia yesterday. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
Kaya sana makiisa kayo sa amin, sa aming pakay, na wag nyo nang babalikan ang dati nyong ginawa. Nandiyan kami para tumulong sa inyo. Gusto nyo mag-testa, kung gusto nyong pumasok ng ibang hanap buhay.
The Cavite Police gathered prominent drug suspects in Imos as part of the government's peaceful campaign against illegal drugs. The Oplan Taphang is based on the Bisaya term tapok ug hangyo, which means to gather and convince. This remains part of the campaign to stop the use and to save the lives of people addicted to illegal drugs.
Yung sa taphang natin, involved dito yung iba-ibang ng community. So napansin nyo, may mga pastors, may mga elected na yung tokhang dati, kami lang ho nagtatrabaho noon. Kaya pulis lang ho yun.
The Oplan Taphang is simultaneously being conducted in the entire Calabarzon region. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
A woman was nabbed for allegedly extorting money from local government officials by posing as a staff of the Department of the Interior and Local Government. An alias Michelle Almonte, 33 years old, was arrested in her house in San Pedro, Laguna yesterday. The suspect extorts from politicians to prioritize the projects they request.
One of the victims deposited 500,000 pesos through BDO account on 12/59 of January 10, 2017. I'm just referring to one account pa lang po. And this has accumulated to more than 1.1 million already.
Meanwhile, the suspect's cousin Michael Dwight Dequillo, who is reportedly doing the same, remains at large. Apart from the identity of the suspect, authorities are still investigating on whether Almonte is part of a larger group and what her motives are. The Philippine National Police or PNP will deploy 70,000 cops nationwide for the upcoming long holiday. Lea Ilagan will tell us why.
Directorate for Operations Public Safety Division Chief Police Senior Superintendent Eugene Pagirigan says the Philippine National Police will begin deploying 7,000 cops starting April 7. The date's the start of the summer vacation, which will last until the opening of classes on June 13. Barangays will also deploy 92,000 force multiplier who will help cops in monitoring petty crimes.
Napakalaki po nung span ng ating summer vacation, in which case along this line may mga important events tayo like April 9 magsimula na po yung araw ng kagitingan.
The 70,000 cops will man crowded areas across the country.
Meron po silang itatatag na police assistance desk doon sa mga places of convergence like malls, markets, yung mga noted areas where these people converge. At doon naman po sa tourist destination areas ay maglalagay po tayo ng tourist police assistance desk.
The PNP reminds the public to avoid taking selfies and posting their whereabouts on social media. This is to avoid giving idea to thieves of empty houses whose owner are on vacation. The PNP also advises the public to ask their neighbors to check on their houses and to inform them about the date of their return.
Dapat malaman po ng ating kapitbahay na tayo ay wala at ibigay yung ating contact numbers sa kanila at sabihan natin sila na wala pong makapasok diyan.
Pagirigan also says PNP regional directors are the ones in charge in raising alert levels depending on whether or not they see a threat to security in the areas of their jurisdiction. Lea Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA postpones the transfer of the Southwest Integrated Provincial Bus Terminal on April 4. MMDA OIC and General Manager Tomas Orbos says they decided to postpone the relocation because they have yet to determine the route rationalization of the buses.
Route modification hindi pa ma-address kagad. It will take a few more weeks, definitely within the month of April. At the same time, so that yung infrastructure matatapos yun. Yun lang talaga yung route modification. At the same time, maganda rin na may transition yung old at saka new para hindi mabigla yung mga tao dito. Number 3, mag-Holy Week na, mahirap na maipit pa yung tao because of that. So
The plan is to transfer the terminal from Coastal Baclaran in Parañaque to HK Sun Plaza in Pasay City. LTFRB will help MMDA in determining the route for the transfer, which is expected to be completed in April.
Next on Y News. The Bureau of Fire Protection plans to conduct fire prevention trainings in poor communities across the country.
The government of Saudi Arabia opens application for amnesty to undocumented foreign workers.
Y News will be right back. The Bureau of Fire Protection and Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor will conduct trainings in poor communities nationwide. Leslie Long-Bowen will tell us why.
The Bureau of Fire Protection National Capital Region or BFP-NCR recorded more than 800 fire incidents in the short period of January to March of this year. The agency says fires usually occur in squatters areas where houses are commonly made of light materials and are adjacent to one another. Response of fire trucks are usually delayed because of narrow passages. This prompted BFP and the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor to sign an agreement to address the problem. The deal targets to teach poor communities about the ways on how to prevent fires and the formation of a fire brigade in their areas.
Equip po sila dapat noong pong basic fire prevention and initial firefighting skills lalo sa unang bulusok po ng sakuna sa kanila pong mga komunidad.
Meanwhile, BFP has this reminder to the public.
Observe natin yung ating paggamit ng ating mga electrical gadgets, mga appliances. Huwag natin i-overload yung ating electrical system. Kung ano yung design para sa ating electrical system, yun lang ang dapat na paggamitan natin.
The BFP noted its campaign against fire continues even after the Fire Prevention Month this March. Despite the current efforts, the agency says it still needs public cooperation to prevent disasters from occurring. Leslie Long-Bowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The governments of Japan and the Philippines signed today an agreement that supports the energy sector in Mindanao. Aga Akbay will tell us why.
The Japan International Cooperation Agency or JICA and the National Economic Development Authority or NEDA signed today a 340 million peso project that aims to improve power distribution equipment being used in several areas in Mindanao. It targets to improve the power distribution equipment of 6 electrical cooperatives or EC in the Bangsamoro. Based on the cooperative's report, energy losses in the region reached 26% due to outdated energy transmission equipment, which has been in the agency since the 70s. Energy transmission equipment distributes electricity from power plants to the consumers.
We wish to thank the Japanese government for its invaluable support for the implementation of this project, as well as other priority programs and projects of the Philippine government.
Together, let's work for successful implementation of this project. The upgraded energy infrastructure from JICA hopefully will pave the way for an economically vibrant Bangsamoro region, not just today, but for a long time into the future.
It can be recalled that Mindanao experienced a number of rotational brownouts last year due to lack of power supply. Aga Akbay, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasig City.
The Department of Energy is asking Congress to pass a bill that will allow the use of Malampaya Fund. Joanna will tell us why.
The Energy Regulatory Commission has extended the schedule of payment of 19 centavos per kilowatt hour in the monthly electricity bill of consumers. The amount serves as payment for the stranded cost or the sum of debt charges included under the power supply agreement. The current total debt for stranded cost to power plants is 53 billion pesos. It should have been fully paid last February 2017. But since 2007, the total amount collected from consumers only reached 48 billion pesos, a deficit of 5 billion pesos. This is the reason why ERC asked for an extension. According to DOE, the 19 centavos per kilowatt hour charge will continue until the debt is fully paid.
So they asked for an extension dahil kulang pa yata yung nakokolekta.
Meanwhile, consumers also have to pay 229 billion pesos of stranded debts, which translates to 26 centavos per kilowatt hour additional charge to consumer bills once implemented. As much as possible, DOE wants to free these obligations from consumers. DOE is calling on lawmakers to pass a bill that would allow the department to use the Malampaya Fund to pay the mentioned debts.
Yun ang gusto nating i-bring up sa Congress, kung final na ba na magagamit yung Energy Resource Development Fund or hindi. Ang stand talaga ni Secretary Cusi, huwag magdagdag ng pagpasa. Ang problema lang dito, pag hindi naman natin ginagawa yon, mas lumulobo siya.
If the Congress approves the proposal, consumers will save around 69 to 173 pesos from their monthly electric bills. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Taguig City.
The Philippine Consulate in Saudi Arabia reminds all stranded Filipinos in the country to process their application for amnesty as soon as possible. Bel Razon will tell us why.
The Saudi Arabian government has formally opened the application for undocumented foreign workers who wish to get amnesty from the government. This after King Salman signed an order giving 90 days for illegal workers to process their documents.
Ito na lang po ang madaling paraan para makauwi na. Yun po ay kung loloobin ng Diyos na ako'y mapapasama sa mga kwalipikadong makikinabang po sa programang amnesty na ibinigay po ng Saudi government.
Meron na tayong madadala na mahigit 200 sa mga kababayan natin para sila yung unang isasalang natin for the amnesty. So tuloy-tuloy yan, nagagawin natin.
The amnesty covers overstayers, holders of visit visa, those who escaped from their employers, and holders of expired ICAMA on the condition that they have no existing loan or any liability with the police. The application opened on March 29. It will conclude in June.
Nananawagan po ako sa lahat ng kababayan natin dito sa Jeddah at sa western region ng Saudi Arabia na samantalahin ho natin itong pagkakataon, itong 3 buwan na binigay sa atin ng Saudi government at ng hari na makauwi tayo ng maayos. Alalahanin po natin, wala pong penalties ito. Sa lahat, bawat step ho ng procedure, wala pong bayad ito.
Belka Bigting, UNTV News and Rescue, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The Commission on Elections intensifies its campaign on women empowerment. Aiko Miguel is at Quezon City to tell us why live. Yes, Aiko, go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Diego. The Commission on Elections is encouraging Filipinas to participate in its advocacy embedded in the Gender and Development Plan, the main topic in today's Women's Summit held at the Philippine International Convention Center. In line with the Women's Month this March, COMELEC has intensified its campaign to encourage active participation among women, especially in politics. Based on the report of COMELEC, the 2016 elections only has 19% women candidates as compared to more than 36,000 male candidates. The number is lower compared to the 2010 and 2013 national and local elections that had more than 50% are female voters. Currently, COMELEC says the Philippines has few women leaders. There are 86 congresswomen as compared to 202 congressmen, 6 women senators as compared to 24 male senators. COMELEC believes that women leaders can contribute largely in public service, especially in strengthening rights of women. Among the female leaders who attended the summit today were Senator Risa Hontiveros, Ilocos Sur Governor Amy Marcos, Congresswoman Geraldine Roman, Congresswoman Baisema, and Congresswoman Sarah Jane Elago. Diego, COMELEC's Gender and Development Plan, spearheaded by Commissioner Rowena Guanzon, is a part of the fulfillment of Republic Act 1972, or the Women in Development and Nation Building Act. It is a mandate of the government to assure equal rights to women in agencies, especially in politics. That is the latest live. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you, Aiko Miguel, reporting live from Quezon City. Agriculture Secretary Emmanuel Piñol says most rice lands in the country have existing rice crops for harvest. Thus, the Department of Agriculture is yet to validate if the country really needs to import rice.
And so, ako tingin ko, kung ngayon tayo mag-i-import, that would work against the interest of the Filipino rice farmers.
Piñol believes that instead of importation, the National Food Authority should buy rice from local farmers to increase the agency's buffer stock to 250,000 metric tons. For its part, NFA said it cannot buy supplies from local farmers because dealers' buying price is higher than what they can offer.
The newly opened museum in Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija showcases various types of farming equipment. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
The province of Nueva Ecija is considered the rice granary of the Philippines. It is also where the history of the country's rice industry can be found. Inside the National Food Authority or NFA compound in Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija is the newly opened Grain Industry Museum. The museum features the history of farming in the country from production, harvest, processing to stocking of rice. It is also showcases the oldest equipment used for farming.
This was established since 1983 at lahat po ng masasaksihan ninyo sa museyong ito ay nagmula po sa iba't ibang lugar sa Pilipinas.
The NFA aims to impart to the museum's visitors the importance of every grain of rice, like the value attached to it by our ancestors. Visit to the NFA Rice Industry Museum is free. Meanwhile, the NFA currently conducts its Food Guardian campaign that reminds Filipinos not to waste rice grains. NFA Regional Information Officer Josephine Bakungan says they have finally achieved 1 million signatures for their campaign called I Am a Food Guardian.
Sa 2 kutsanang naaaksayan po natin araw-araw, pag pinagsama-sama po yan sa bansang Pilipinas, isang maliit na pong bansa ang ating kayang pakainin.
Contrary to previous reports, the agency assures of enough rice supply in Nueva Ecija. The NFA urges farmers in the province to sell their palay to the agency to be used in times of need.
Yan po ay panahon na pag dumating po ang kalamidad. At ang mga makikinabang po niyan, ang ating mga consumers na karaniwan po ay ang mga maralitan.
Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The International Rice Research Institute, or IRRI, is developing a rice variety called golden rice. IRRI Deputy Director Bruce Tolentino says they want to develop a variety that would benefit the health condition of mothers and children. Tolentino adds that based on their monitoring, around 30% of mothers and children in the country lack the necessary nutrients.
And this leads to less resistance to disease. This also leads to sometimes cognitive inability and night blindness.
Tolentino says they are just waiting for the go signal of the Bureau of Plant and Industry and the Department of Science and Technology before proceeding with the experiment. The project has piloted in Los Baños, Laguna, India, and Indonesia.
Magdalo Partylist Representative Gerry Alejano files his supplemental impeachment complaint against President Rodrigo Duterte in the lower house of Congress today. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution, and committed high crimes. These are the grounds Magdalo Partylist Representative Gerry Alejano cites in his 7-page supplemental impeachment complaint he files in the lower house of Congress today. In the impeachment complaint, the lawmakers cited in particular the president's failure to defend the Philippines' rights over the West Philippine Sea. This is, he says, despite the United Nations Permanent Court of Arbitration's decision in July 2016 that favors the Philippines.
Simula pa lamang na kanyang panunungkulan bilang Pangulo ng bansa, nasuyuin ang bansang China upang maiwasan ang sigalot sa isyu ng competing claims sa Spratlys at makakuha ng investments at loans mula sa kanila, kapalit ng ating pananahimik at kawalan ng aksyon sa ating karapatan sa West Philippine Sea.
Based on the complaint, Alejano claims the president also violated his oath of duty to the country when he allowed Chinese vessels to enter Benham Rice. Presidential Chief Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo meanwhile calls the complaint a propaganda. He says Congressman Alejano's is just after publicity. Panelo also argued that supplemental complaint Alejano filed can be considered a second complaint which violates the one-year ban. Meanwhile, House Majority Leader Rudy Fariñas doubts the supplemental complaint can be allowed in an impeachment case while the House Committee on Justice has yet to hear the original complaint. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
President Rodrigo Duterte hits the media and the Catholic clergy anew on various problems of the country. Rosalie Cos is at Malacanang to tell us why live. Go ahead, Rosalie.
Yes, good evening, Diego. During his speech at the oath-taking ceremony of newly appointed officials, President Rodrigo Duterte lambasted his critics anew, specifically the members of the media and the Catholic Church, calling them oligarchs. The president stressed that these people are not telling the whole truth and are biased to certain parties. He scored them, saying they are the reasons why the Philippines could not resolve its problems. President Duterte also pointed out that media is making speculations on his health, in particular the oxygen converter he has in his room, which he uses frequently because of his lack of oxygenation. The president says he does not deny about his health conditions since he is already old. Meanwhile, President Duterte once again hits the seemingly interference of the United States of America and the European Union on the domestic affairs of the country, particularly in his war against illegal drugs.
Do not impose your whatever it is, your values and everything, because we hate you for being a hypocrite. You are the incongruity of the times.
President Duterte asked the public as well as the government officials and the citizens of the country to help him achieve his promises for the country, such as eliminating illegal drugs, corruption, criminality, and help him grow our economy. That's the latest live here from Malacanang. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you, Rosalie Cos, reporting live from Malacanang. Those are the reasons behind the news, March 30, 2017. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I'm Darlene Basingan.
Because we need to know. We will always ask why. Thank you for watching. Why News.